Good evening and welcome to this, the first special assignment for 2012. I'm Ashraf Garda. There has been lots of debate about the critical shortage of medical staff in South Africa and the impact that has on healthcare. However, for this show, we bring you an inspirational story of two rural students in KwaZulu-Natal who beat the odds to become medical professionals. All of this thanks to the Utombo Youth Development Foundation. This report by Health E-News Service.
In rural hospitals and clinics across the country, there are massive staff vacancies. Here, where almost half of South Africa's population lives and only 12% of our doctors are willing to work, this shortage is a matter of life and death. This year, Health Minister Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi will launch the first phase of his ambitious National Health Insurance Plan. Central to this is improving basic health care in rural areas. He feels the answer to the staffing crisis lies in the heart of these communities.
Training young people from rural areas is extremely important because that's where the biggest shortage is. Because many people after training don't want to go to rural areas. But it has been proven that people who come from rural areas, when they complete, they do go and work there. I'm one of them, by the way. I only came here because I was redeployed to be a minister. Otherwise, my work was in the rural area. I was born there, I was bred there. I couldn't think about going to work to any other place. That was my home. And I was very proud to go back and work there. And I hope there are many youngsters who will do the same thing.
This is Tlhabisa, one of the most deprived areas in KwaZulu-Natal. Desperately lacking infrastructure and job opportunities, around 80% of families live below the poverty line, cut off from basic services like water and sanitation. Faced with South Africa's deepening health crisis, rural communities have limited chances of survival, and mortality is rising. At Tlhabisa Hospital, Dr. Patrick Ngwenya is one of only 9 doctors serving a district of over 200,000 people.
It's quite challenging. Everyone, when they come in, they come with energy and they know that they can do a difference, make a difference. But the burden or the workload drains you quite quickly. But the thing that keeps you going is helping someone whom you know that without you, they could barely make it.
Patrick works mostly in the maternity ward, one of the busiest wards in the hospital. Around 400 babies are delivered here every month. Because teenage pregnancies are common and many expecting mothers have sexually transmitted infections or HIV/AIDS, complications often arise. Without him, these could be fatal.
You say a pregnant woman comes in, you manage her, and she delivers, if God willing, a live baby, as we've seen the kids, just fresh newborns. I mean, those innocent faces, and you just say, wow. I mean, she was pregnant 2 minutes ago, and now she delivered. And everybody smiled. You forget about pain. I think it's also sort of a booster to you and your morale. At least you go home smiling despite of hard work.
Patrick is a doctor today thanks to the Utombo Youth Development Foundation, which supports rural youth to become qualified healthcare professionals who will, on graduation, return to work at their local hospital. Heavy workloads under stressful conditions mean that rural hospitals everywhere struggle to attract and retain qualified staff. Born in a rural area, Patrick understands the struggles his patients endure, a motivation for him to stay and make a lasting difference.
But if I know I've got only 1 year to hit and run, there's nothing that I would like to improve or to leave something like a legacy for the next generation or next colleagues to come in and build on. Just come and work and go. But if you know you still have 5 years, during your stay you want to have something that you can point out that at least I've made a difference or a change in 1, 2, 3.
Patrick grew up in the rural village of Manguzi, only a few kilometers from the Mozambique border. Whenever he can, he visits his mother, who still lives in the one-roomed hut, which he built where he once lived with his 3 siblings. For years, they never had piped water, and to this day, they still do not have electricity.
Inside, I dreamt of having a big house one day, either for myself or building one for my mom. but it was like a real mountain that needed to be climbed, and I knew it's going to be a journey. The question of how, whether I will reach there, well, it was uncertain.
Patrick never lost touch with where he is from, which helps him empathize with his patients.
Okay, this is my home. That's where I grew up. I've got very good memories of this place. When I was young, I think I was doing grade 11, we planted these mango trees, and now you can't believe it because they're that big.
They eked out an existence from the land growing crops and wove handmade baskets to sell on the side of the road to earn a little extra. Poor schooling and without the financial means to take his education beyond high school left Patrick with few options for his future.
I got depressed a lot before, immediately when I completed my matric, because I mean I looked like my life was on a stop street. I didn't know which direction to take, and it took a while to get myself on my senses, you know.
After high school, Patrick became a construction worker. It's hard to believe that less than a decade later, he is now a talented doctor, able to save lives. Now he's building his mother and siblings the new home he's always dreamed of. There was a time in his life when this would have never seemed possible.
I think it's the greatest feeling any man or young man can ever have. It's quite difficult for our background because most of our parents, they hardly leave things that we can point to say that my father left this for us. So you almost always start from the scratch.
It took him many years, sheer determination, and a life-changing bursary from the Mthombo Foundation to get to where he is today.
The biggest pressure was you knew where you come from, and failing was not an option, and it was not an excuse either. Where you come from, you don't want to go back being the same person. You need to be seen as a hero, even though most people, they don't worry whether you get good grade, but at least they know you must have your degree in your hand, and you don't want to disappoint them.
In a moment, an amazing story of a taxi driver that changes professions.